Perfect.
Thinking, what am I
There we go. Thank you so much, Anita, for the technical difficulties too. Hi, everyone. It's Crystal King, your Arbonne consultant, and I'm doing a 30-day healthy living event tonight. My computer stays awake. There.
Want me to be back here so you can be closer?
Yes. Okay. There. That way people can see me.
Yeah.
In the video and see you.
Yeah.
And so I know you don't know anything about Arbonne. I'm just going to tell you a little bit about it, how I fell in love with Arbonne, and kind of who Arbonne is as a company. So we're healthy people who like to help people get healthy. That's kind of one of the big things is this is a place where anybody can come and flourish and grow and continue to grow as a person and be the best version of yourself. And it's a journey. So like Arbonne has been on a journey since I started using the products. But really, you know, I love that line. We empower people to flourish with sustainable, healthy living. I actually got to meet Petter. He is no longer with us, but he's the founder of Arbonne. And, you know, what an amazing visionary to think this whole thing up and create this whole product line that he really wanted a place where people could be their best. You know, and I know his son, Stian, who is kind of the managing director of Arbonne. And luckily, I have a close enough relationship with Vida that I get to see him on kind of a yearly basis, but taking up his father's dream and kind of keeps it alive. And so why Arbonne, I think, is next. For me, when I came across Arbonne, I was just looking for skincare. It's been a long time since then, but I had tried 13 other companies that I had tried their skincare and they either did nothing or they turned my face bright red and super itchy. And I don't actually have allergies and so I couldn't understand what was going on and why things weren't working. And then a friend of mine invited me to something like this, said, come, have fun. You know, she told me you don't have to buy anything. She just wanted me to try this skincare that she had been using and fallen in love with. And I did. And the woman there that night started talking to me about ingredients and why I should care. It's been a long time, like I said, since I started using Arbonne, and I didn't care when I came across Arbonne. I didn't look at ingredients. I didn't even think that that was something that I should pay attention to. But what I did pay attention to was that night when I put this skincare on my face, it felt soothing, there was no smell, didn't smell gross and perfume, didn't feel heavy on my skin, just felt good. And I told her, I said, I'm not buying anything tonight. And I joked, I said 2 reasons. Kind of promised my husband I wouldn't, but that wasn't true. And I really wanted to see what my face looked like in the morning because I'd spent a ton of money on other things that didn't work. And, you know, the next morning my face already looked and felt a little bit better than it did the day before. And so I called her right up and I said, I want to get that whole skincare set thing. And I want to do that discount shopper thing that you mentioned. And that's really how I started. It wasn't until years later that I needed a different job. You know, I have an autistic adult daughter and my son at the same time was having very difficult high school life. And it was just too much stress for our family. It was really pulling us apart. And that's when I called the same lady and said, okay, I'm going to do this. Now, I just jumped in and I joked that I was ignorance on fire. I just did exactly what she said for months. And then soon she was like, oh, you're in qualification for this thing. And I'm like, okay, whatever that is. You know, I didn't know. I just was like, okay, I need to make X amount of money so that I don't have to get another job, you know? And so I had a part-time job and was doing Arbonne for about 6 months. And then I was like, I don't want my part-time job anymore. And that's the flexibility of this business that I have had now for 16 years. It's been a huge blessing to our family because I've been able to be there for 16 years for my family first and for me first, and then put my business in a place where I can control it, you know, and now I have the flexibility to upgrade my business, kind of make it bigger and kind of make it to the dreams I've always had for it. So what is the next slide? Oh, so I'm introducing you. And yes, so For those of you online, hi. I'm introducing my business partner and dear friend, Vida Ice, who's been doing this a little longer than me, but is so amazing and kind and generous. And I'm so happy to have her here. We'll kind of switch spots.
Yep. Hey, hi, everybody online, and welcome to you guys that are here. Appreciate you being here. My name is Vida Ice, and I'm going to introduce my husband, who will be talking next. But I just wanted to say that this has been an incredible journey, and I love hearing stories that Crystal shared about how it's really impacted her family in such a positive way, because that's really what this is about, at least for me, is to be able to use this vehicle as a way to elevate where your family is at, and you're doing it for your family. I mean, how much of us spend a lot of money on things and we have no idea how, we might be attracted to it because of marketing symbols or whatever, and how we're contributing to like billionaires. And here, to be able to know that she's any support given to Crystal is impacting her family and putting Jessica, her daughter, into having resources as a special needs young adult. So to me, that's so much more impactful. So I appreciate the support that you give her, just even by listening and spreading the word about this. So my name is Vida Ice. Like I said, I'm here with my husband, Daryl. I'm going to have him come along and chat about his experience with Arbonne, because we're certainly partners in crime with this business. And this is our 20th year celebrating as entrepreneurs. And that's what we are. We both came from corporate, and my husband had a very high-paying, high-profile job as a business operations manager for an electrical distribution company, an international electrical distribution company. And he was in charge of the Western United States. So I love traveling when he got to go to Hawaii. That was kind of fun. But also all of Canada. And so we were very blessed for him to provide for our family in that way. But it was tough with both of us working in corporate America and with our young kids. So it was so much relief and blessing to have him support me wanting to leave corporate first and build something for a family. And so with that, I'm going to turn it over to Daryl. And it's been great to be able to build alongside with each other now for 12 years. 12 years since you left corporate. So take it away.
12, so.
Yeah, Daryl Ice.
Oh, it's the scene.
Yeah, so
I'll
so
do the
it's-
slides.
yeah, as she said, I was traveling a lot, running manufacturing plants in the US and Canada, and a little bit of product development in Europe. And so it was a good job, a great company, no complaints about that, but it's just it was very demanding on the family. And so we decided we just need to come up with an exit strategy. And so after a couple years of every other week being gone for a week, starting up another plant, something had to change. And so what the main thing for me, and I think for a lot of people now, was just the flexibility of it. Not that I didn't like what I was doing or it wasn't a good job, but to be able to be home. We love to travel, but I found travel for business, travel for personal is night and day, right? Yeah, it's just, I can remember I've been to Hawaii many times growing up, and we had relatives there, and when they started going there for business, it was so weird to walk Waikiki by yourself at night. It's this wonderful place, but it's kind of lonely. It's kind of weird when you're not in vacation mode like everybody around you. It was just really odd. And so anyway, from a lot of encouragement from Vida and from our kids, we realized that that it's time to make a change. So it was nice to do that. So this slide is just talking about some of the reasons why Arbonne's just really well positioned. I was manufacturing products that were very desirable for like heavy industrial, big construction, but they weren't anything that I would buy myself or very interesting for me. But on this slide, the work habits are huge. A lot more individual 1099 type employees or big employees doing work nowadays versus just a typical big company, working your whole career with that. And obviously social businesses is a huge growth right now. So to be able to do stuff on social media that actually you can earn an income from, and the benefit of that is it's even more flexible now than when Vita started the business. Because back then it was all getting together with people, which actually in some ways is more fun when you do have that opportunity, but it limited you to only the opportunity when you could get together. And so now we found that can do the business, just literally wherever we're at. Even cruise ships has been probably the one of the most fun places to go to do it. And in Arbonne's position, I can't remember if you mentioned it, but really started with a very high-end skincare line out of Switzerland. So Swiss skincare to this day, top of the line skincare, but that was really their core product for about a dozen products, I think, if I remember right. And then they took that same philosophy of the purity of ingredients and expanded into the larger health and wellness. And that's just, it's a huge field, but to be in that field position like Arbonne is with such a quality product is a real differentiator. So just always a demand, but it's like I used to do, I've always been sort of in the fitness industry, not quite like this guy apparently, but obviously this is
See your box work.
there's a presentation for the women audience. But I always liked protein shakes even back in the 80s when they weren't really a big thing, but I didn't know the quality of product back then. So to be able to see the growth of Arbonne in this space with just fantastic product. So the skincare is still just best skincare you're going to find out there, but to be able to offer, especially for a lot of the guys, you get into the protein shakes, the post-workout drinks and energy drinks, and just fantastic. And then of course there's a lot of good products, and the business itself gets you into dealing with the stress that comes with with so many things about life right now. So anyway, I've talked a little bit about the why Arbonne. One of the things that I really like, I'm trying to get this listed here specifically, but I spent a lot of time, in manufacturing, working with plants and working with financial statements, and as an engineering background, I got more into the business side of it. And what I learned to really appreciate was to be able to find a product where when you spend your dollar or your $100, whatever, that most of what you're spending is actually going to the product, right? Because you don't want to spend $100 on something and find out that really, and this is not uncommon, like 10% of it is actually going to the product. The other 90% is going to all the different channels to get it to you and I, all the different marketing and advertising that goes on, all these celebrities pretending why they like this product so they can try to talk you into wanting this product. What I like about Arbonne's model is you get maximum money, the consumer dollar going into making the product really high quality product. The only thing that doesn't go into that really is what they pull apart for the compensation plan. And so for exchange for all that expensive advertising, you go to the mall. When I go to the mall, I see bricks and mortar, I see utility costs, I see rent space, because as it goes through my mind on a financial statement. And then when you get through all that expense, then hopefully there's something left in some sort of product that you're actually spending your money on, right? So with this, you're not going to find it in a mall, you're not going to find it in a magazine or a TV ad. So you know that the product outside of what we get paid, all of us, to just share the product. Everything else is the product itself, and so that's why they're able to make such a good quality product at a good price point. So the other thing that I like about it, different than like I mentioned earlier with my products, great product, sold them for years, manufactured them, designed them, liked them, but never bought them. So what I like about this is anybody you run into, doesn't matter age, sex, anybody you run into can benefit from these products. So it's very unique to have a product line that's your business, that you own the business, that everybody you run into, they can benefit from it. You can help them benefit from, whether it's their stress or their weight or their health of their skin and so forth. So I love having that broad market presence. It's not, you don't have to spend a half hour at a dinner party trying to explain what you do. That's what I used to do. I didn't even try because nobody understood what I did. Didn't relate to it. So this is just, it's just really easy. So, I'm not sure what else.
Okay.
What we've got on here.
Next is about.
We get into products.
Health, yes, the products.
Okay.
Okay.
Because I think what we're gonna do on, at this point, I'm gonna turn it back over to Vida. And get in a little bit deeper dive into some of the benefits of the product, so.
Yep, so I am kind of guilty of getting nerded out on ingredients and all that and how it works, interacts with the body, because my background is in biology. And my background also, my career was in big pharma. So when you think of where I'm at now, big pharma versus health and wellness, it's far, the spans of how you look at health is completely different. They both have a role, important role, but for the most part, we have more control over this side of it, the health and wellness, because we're able to make choices. When we get to this point where we can't make those choices because we have to rely on clinicians to help take care of us, then yes, we want someone that's trained, that has the training to do that. But for me, where I felt like that career fell short is when, even though I carried life-saving medications, I probably carried 14 different, let's see, I don't know. There were several medications, but you had to know disease management. You had to know drug-to-drug interactions. You had to know side effects, all of that stuff. But nowhere in my training was I told to talk about lifestyle modifications or nutrition. And that actually is the way I live my life. So when even though some of the meds were life-saving, some of the other meds that we also sold or influenced doctors to prescribe, I should say, were medications that I didn't believe that should be first line. I felt like when it came to weight management or anything like that, let's talk about nutrition. Let's talk about exercise. Let's talk about those things. And so it kind of started to pull me away from wanting to be a part of big pharma, not to mention the career itself, the time demand. I had the whole state of Oregon for my territory. And so the time demand on our 3 small kids was very, very tough and didn't really align with the way my priorities were of putting God first, then family, and then work. It was like work, and then let's try to fit everything else under the work. So Arbonne has been such a godsend. I came to a gathering like this. I wanted to support my friend. I'm all about supporting my friends who are entrepreneurs and want to build their businesses. I would much rather support local and my friends who have local businesses than some superstar billionaire who has a swoosh or something like that. So I came to this presentation and I was the only one that showed up. So it was, I don't think she would have even thought that I would even do the business for one thing, nor take it this far that I have. And at that time I didn't either. At that time, I just knew that what she put on my skin was amazing and I wanted it. And she didn't know I had oily, acneic skin and she didn't know that I really wanted to raise my family in living a healthy lifestyle. So it was a perfect fit and perfect timing. And then, fast forward several years later, then it got to a point where I could no longer handle the stress of corporate America. And I really had other plans. I really wanted to be more present with family and be part of their educational process in public schools, because we had them in private schools. So I wanted to get more involved in my community that way. So here we are now. It's 20 years, and it's been such a blessing to be in a thriving business in the gig economy that so many people are just now tapping into, knowing that we were at the right place at the right time way back then. And so much more now. Healthy living to improve mind, body, and skin is our approach. So we want to have balance in our lives. We want to live a stress-free life. I don't think we could ever be stress-free, but at least a manageable stress load. And so I love that now at the years that we are at, where we are empty nesters and we have grandkids now, we have the health, the vigor, the vitality to chase our very rambunctious grandsons around, and we have a new one on the way. So it's very exciting. But it all starts with the products, and the products promise that they're going to be 100% vegan, always have been, always will be, never ever tested on animals. Who are animal lovers out there? Did you know that most products out there, especially when it has to do with cosmetics and skin, are tested on animals inhumanely, and it's not necessary. Not necessary. So where is it tested? Yes, it's tested on animals, human animals, right? Like us. We get to try them. And why do we get to try them and feel like we can be guinea pigs? Because they start with the cleanest ingredients. They start with 0 allergens. And so if you happen to have an allergy to some things, to some sort of plant, then so be it. We can work with it. But they start with plant-based ingredients, always have been high clean standards, definitely developed with experts in the field and scientific testing and third-party testing. So you're not going to get just our people saying that we're the best. You're going to get third-party individuals saying that we're the best. In fact, we have all of these certifications that everybody would love to have on their product line. And for me and Crystal, who have autoimmune issues, which I would guess that many people who are watching this, many people that are here also struggle with, is to know that this is a one-stop shop for many of the products when it comes to skincare, cosmetics, spa products, baby products, sun care products, and nutritional supplements. When we're talking about, having it be bioavailable to the body and not just full of fillers. Okay, we're talking about clean standards. And when we're talking about the greatest certification that we have that we can be very proud about is our B Corporation certification. And that means that we are all about purpose. So it's purpose driven. Whatever decision they make, they want to make sure that everything is sustainable in regards to our health, our in mind, body, and skin, and also the planet. So everything is going to be fair trade with the farmers that they're doing. Fair trade, even fair compensation for their own workers, for their own corporate workers. Someone's calling in. I don't know what you have to do with that. So this is what we're very proud of, and we're actually the #1 ranking in all of the B Corporation certified direct selling companies. So we're very proud of that #1 ranking. Yeah. Daryl, I don't know if you want to change. Oh, here, you want to go back to this. So let me talk about, so we have, these are our 4 main categories that we have: nutrition, skincare, makeup, and body care. Everything is
Might be on the way. That was another person.
Oh,
She
okay.
told me she'd be late.
Oh, okay, it's okay.
Yeah.
You can move forward, go ahead. But those are the main categories that we have. And I'm going to talk about the 30 Days to Healthy Living program, because it's not like, okay, we want you to buy this protein shake and call it good. We're very holistic in the way we think about this, because I think for the most part, people want to get healthy. People want to be healthy. People want to age well, right? And feel good during the aging process. I know I do. I know you do, right? And so it's all about teaching people a holistic way of looking at the way they live and living a toxin-free lifestyle as much as possible. And no one's going to do that perfectly, but the products sure help you do that in a good way. So what we're talking about with 30 days is we know that it's tough to have the right habits. It's our habits that led us to this place of unhealth to begin with, many times. Sometimes directly, sometimes indirectly by not knowing, right? Not knowing, but knowledge is power, right? So we say 30 days because it takes 30 days to build good habits. It takes 3 days to break it. If you've ever tried to do something. So,
Yes. Time it all.
so 30 days, you're going to at least have these, even just pick one thing that we encourage people to do. Also, there have been studies shown that we know that peer pressure works, whether it be negative peer pressure or positive peer pressure. We do this each and every month. In fact, every 2 weeks, we have a new group of positive peer pressures, right? Of helping people. We're locking arms with you. We're trying to get healthy together. And we have recipes. We have weekly meal plans. We have camaraderie. We can post different things and say, hey, did you try this recipe? And we say, is this okay? And we say, no, that's not okay. But you know what to do, right? If you do decide that you're going to eat that, make that choice. Because part of having a healthy living lifestyle is no guilt, right? Is no regret. It's like, if you're going to eat that, that's your choice. Enjoy it without any guilt. just know what it's going to do, and then
Later on.
you know what, then you know what to do next. Go for a
Yes.
walk, or, drink your detox tea, or, take your gut health, okay? So that's what I did the other day. We went to the spaghetti factory. I love pasta, and you betcha. It was so nice to be able to have these products to help me process that stuff faster out of my system. So this focuses on 5 key areas. Number 1, we eat clean. And a lot of people don't really necessarily know what that means. It's not just about eating organic. It's not just about eating non-GMO. It's really looking at things that are very less processed. Okay, so the way that God provided it on this earth is as close as we want to do in consuming it. Okay, and then eat clean. Number 2, we increase our nutrient intake. So we don't focus on watching calories. We focus, if you're going to obsess over anything, we want you to focus on obsessing over nutrients. Is it nutrient dense? If it's void of nutrients, don't even eat it. If it has anything artificial, X out of your, out of your kitchen completely. Anything artificial. And it usually says has natural and artificial flavorings and colorings or whatever. Just don't even buy it. We have the choice. We have that power to make that choice. So eating clean means nutrient dense, increasing nutrient intake. Number 3 is to cut out those things that are highly inflammatory, addictive, acid forming, which causes inflammation, inflammatory. So those are the things we want to stay away from. The usual culprits are dairy, sugar, and gluten. Those are like top 3. If you go to any allergist or any nutritionist, any naturopath, holistic person, they'll say those are the top 3 things that impact people in a negative way. The top 3. You may not suffer from any of that, but why not? Why not try to see instead of taking a test to say that you are sensitive to it? Why don't you just eliminate it for 30 days only? We can do anything for 30 days and see what we can do. Okay, gluten, dairy, alcohol. Again, one of those things about alcohol is there's nothing good about it, honestly, other than it's a social thing. What that?
So other than it tastes yummy.
Yeah, it
and
tastes
and
yummy.
People drink it with their friends.
Yeah, and
But
it's a
it just
social
turns into
thing.
just bad sugars.
Yeah, it's just, it just slows everything down. It destroys your microflora, your microbiome. So to keep it at a minimum, and again, we can do this for 30 days. And also our plan allots for a 10% where you're not eating perfectly, knowing that humans are not perfect. So 90% of the time, if we can do this for 30 days, then for life, 80-20 rule, right? 80% of the time we eat this way. So then gluten, dairy, alcohol, coffee. Coffee's a tough thing. There's a good way to drink coffee where it's just 1 black coffee per day, where 150 milligrams of caffeine. Unfortunately, most people don't measure their caffeine intake, and they do way more than 150 milligrams of caffeine. And if you're like me, when I drink coffee, I doll it up with some sort of cream or sweetener. And now I've got 3 strikes, I'm out with the things that I'm supposed to not do. So I look at coffee as like a treat. If I'm going to do it, it's a treat. It's not something I'm going to do every day. There are lots of other things that I can do to help give me some real energy, because caffeine is really fake energy. Okay. Okay, so coffee, and then decaf is about like 30 to 50 milligrams of caffeine anyways. And most decaf is not processed. It's usually bleached out. You can get water processed, then that's gonna be healthier decaf. And we're still gonna get 25, 30 milligrams of caffeine, sometimes 50. So just keep that in mind with caffeine, dairy, caffeine.
Where are you sitting right on sitting your side? Oh, no, go for it. Sit in.
Yeah, she is kind of.
No, I'm gonna sit in your spot.
And we're recording too, just because we know, so she can have this to some other people. I'm Vida, by the way.
Hi, I'm Christine. This is my friend Christine.
Oh, I'm glad you're here. Thank you for coming. So anyways, we were talking about a 30 days healthy living program and eating clean. I'm not sure, you could, I guess, we can reiterate later, but
Yes.
so it focuses on 5 key areas. Just to review, we eat clean. That means that we're not eating anything that's highly processed at all. And then we focus on increasing nutrient intake. So not obsessing over calories at all, but obsessing over nutrients if we can. And number 3, we try to eliminate those things that tend to be allergenic, addictive, inflammatory, acid forming. And that would include things like gluten and dairy and alcohol, coffee, sugar, anything GMO. So corn, wheat, soy, all of those things. should be something that we're able to do. Everybody can do this for 30 days. And we allot for this 10% when we're not worrying about it, right? And then we want to support our elimination organs, you know, our detoxifying organs, our liver, our kidneys. They're so important. Are we having quality bowel movements every day? And so the products help to support that as well. And usually so much of our sickness, there's this huge connection with our microbiome, our gut health, with our brain. And so we know that if our kids aren't feeling good, usually it's because they didn't eat well or they had too much sugar. Well, same goes for us. You know, there are neurotransmitters in our gut lining. 70% of serotonin, for example, is in our gut lining. So if we're impaired any way in our nutrition, guess what? It's going to affect things like depression, anxiety. What are some other mental things? Stress, you know, all of those things are impacted by what we eat. Okay, so we could do things to help smooth over that transition well, so that those neurotransmitters are firing up the way they're supposed to fire up. Okay, so gluten, dairy, alcohol. And then the final thing is elimination, supporting elimination organs, and balancing our blood sugars. And I think that's the hardest part. That's where most people cave. Whether you like a bag of potato chips or a plate of brownies, both convert to sugar. Okay, so it's still sugar, sugar, sugar. And so helping people sustain those blood sugars for the long haul so that you don't have those cravings like that. And when you are starting to eat nutrient dense, then your body is not going to really crave those other things, because there is such a huge thing called insulin resistance, where the insulin kind of tricks your body into thinking that you're full, or your body is, your cells are not getting any nutrients, but your insulin is so high that it's saying that you're full, but you're really not full, because it's also tricking you, telling you that you're constantly hungry. And so so it's void of nutrients, in other words. And so your body's wanting to continue to put sugar into your bloodstream to give you energy, because we need energy to do things, and yet we can't do it because we just can't sustain the sugar habit that we have. So it's really all about balancing our blood sugar so you have this good hum, and then you don't have this craving. A lot of that goes with your rhythm of eating as well, and we'll talk about that. So I don't know, are we on skincare already?
Yes.
Okay, so this is what your sample day is going to look like before I move into the outer health, because this is all about inner and outer health. A lot of it starts in the inner health, because if you have a healthier microbiome, you're going to have great energy, and you might clear up any skin issues that you might have as well, because it just presents through the skin many times. So your sample day could look like this. You start your day with a tall glass of tepid water. It could be warm water, but usually you can't guzzle hot, and usually you can't guzzle ice water. It's shocking to the system. So tepid, room temperature, or warm water is a good option. Squirt of lime juice is perfect, or lemon juice, okay, because that stimulates your liver, stimulates peristalsis, and then you guzzle that down. And what that's going to do immediately, before you put anything else in your mouth, before you put anything else, it's going to alkalize your body immediately. Okay, alkalize. I mean, your body will normally do that, but some people are on the edge of acidity, which is not a good thing. And whenever we wake up in the morning, as your body is processing all its food, it's moving towards a state of homeostasis. It's going to be slightly acidic. And so drinking water first, but how many of us start with coffee? Very acidic, right? So water first, and then the lime or lemon is going to stimulate peristalsis, stimulate the liver, and the sensation of guzzling that down, that whole glass of water down, is also going to stimulate peristalsis. And now you're going to have this urge to go to the bathroom, okay? And hopefully you'll have this glorious experience in there, right? Like that whole thing coming out, we want that, right? Because now we know that we have a good bowels that are going through. It's, some people say, oh, I poop every day, but oh, what does it look like? You know, you don't want these little things coming out. You don't want these slimy things coming out. You know, you want this big firm thing coming out, right? And so that's what the goal is every morning, is to do that before you eat any food. And then if you're a workout type, like if you walk every morning, yeah, we try to work out every morning. Then you want to do some sort of energy thing. So I usually just grab a banana and then I have my drink of whatever our phytosport stuff, or it's not even called phytosport anymore.
No, it's
It's a
our
true
true
sport.
sport.
Sport
that you
drinks,
guys are
and
drinking.
you guys will try it if you want. And then those things are gonna help sustain your workouts.
Also electrolyte drinks.
Yep, and then after that, then you have muscle recovery, because immediately you need those branched chain amino acids, you've ripped apart your muscle fibers, and now you're trying to build them back up, and so your the muscle recovery is amazing. You're gonna feel good. Sometimes after workout, some people feel like, oh, because they're not getting their protein right away. And so then they don't work out the next day, and they have lactic acid buildup, and then you end up being a weekend warrior, right? So then after that, then you have your lunch, and the shakes are a great way to have your lunch, your meals. You can add things to it. You can make a smoothie with it. You can make smoothie bowls. She made those wonderful protein bowls with it. Very versatile. And then you have a sensible meal. And we have, like I said earlier, we have weekly meal plans. We have fantastic recipes. We want people to eat real food. I encourage people at least once a week to go for vegan, okay? And all of our products are 100% vegan, but if you can just go for vegan, then it's really keeping it top mind to eat those veggies, okay? If we don't have any veggies in our life, we're not getting any antioxidants at all. You know, we're not getting anything, and anti-free radical damage is huge. And we need those to protect ourselves and from illness. You know, if we're not boosting our immune system with antioxidants, which comes from fruits and vegetables, then we are not going to be able to protect ourselves or fight off disease in any way. It's the best thing you can do for your immune system. No shot or anything can give you that than boosting your immune system. And then by the time you have dinner, you know, you have your sensible dinner, and then we hopefully you will have no your last meal of the day, you'll go to bed within 3 hours after that. Okay, so say you have your last meal at 7, then at 10 o'clock you go to bed. So then you have a good night's sleep, where you have your REM sleep, you know, rapid eye movement sleep. Because if you don't have that kind of sleep, your body does not go through that detoxification process. It's having a problem in doing that. And if people are trying to lose weight, they're not going to also do that, okay, because your body's hanging on, it's still stressed out. So sleep is such a big component in overall health, in stress management, in your rhythms of eating, all of that stuff, sustaining your blood sugars. So then we do it all over again. And the products afterwards, we're going to try the products, or at least talk more about that as far as the sample in the day. But right now I'm going to turn it over to Crystal. She's going to talk about the skincare.
Yes.
That's how we were both introduced to Arbonne.
Yes, that's how I found Arbonne, is through skincare.
Yeah.
I had my first skin issue well into my 30s, maybe my whole life, and I had no idea what to do, because I had just been shopping at the mall for buying stuff that a friend said. And when I tried Arbonne skincare, like I said earlier, immediately it was soothing. Didn't have any stinky smell. It didn't make me feel like I just put a weight on my face. Luckily, I said yes to Arbonne then, and said, yes, I'll start using these products. And then soon later said yes to this business, because I've been able to help so many people. What I get to show you is stuff that, like, you can see these percentages on the screen. It's because we've done in-home and third-party testing with this skincare. That's one of the things that I love the most, is that people are trying them, not animals. People are trying them and getting real experience with them. And then Arbonne told you about it. So the Atoll line, I kind of use a combination of this line and the Derm Results line. And it works amazingly well for me. We do have skincare for every age group or any issue that you might have, though. And so I love it because it's so ingredient focused on being clean. Like all of Arbonne, it's meant to, you know, we ban over 2,000 ingredients. We have one of the highest, cleanest companies that are out there, because we are the #1 B Corp certified company. So, and then these are highly concentrated skincare products. So when I was buying from other companies, I was buying like every month or every other month. And the skincare I love, because I'm not buying it every month. I'm buying it like every 4 to 6 months most of the time. So I absolutely love that.
Yeah, like an eye cream last year.
I know, the night cream does last for a really long time. Same with the eye creams. But I also love the shopping method that I get to buy. So let's click to the next screen, because this is really how Arbonne works. It's just like everything else that women do. We fall in love with something, we tell everybody we know. ooh, or if we don't like something, or we've had bad service, we call twice to 4 times as many people, because we don't want our friends to go and have a bad experience where we've had a bad experience. So, it's simple. Shopping from Arbonne is what everybody has learned how to do. You're experts at shopping online now. You call me, I help you. That's really how you get it. You get it through a consultant, you get it at an event, you can get it across the country. I work from my phone most days, you know, and then we're recording this for my VIP group. So they'll be able to see this event there. And then I love to meet people in person, which is why I'm so happy that you guys are here, because I am an in-person person. But this is exactly how I make money too. I make money on all of those different events in all of those different ways. And if anybody's really interested in how much money you can earn, I always tell people go to earnings.arbonne.com, and it's going to have all of the details of that. And then, you know, this is what I think is true. Anybody and everyone can flourish with Arbonne. We champion diversity. We love everybody, whatever you are, whatever you know, we are a welcoming group and very inclusive, which I absolutely love. So these are the 3 ways I earn money: on straight sales from my personal, on commissions from the team that I have created. And then I have gotten awards from Arbonne for different levels of sales performance. And I'm currently working towards my next trip from Arbonne. And I know you saw me go on the one from Punta Cana, so that was awesome. But, you know, for me, having a healthy business is having everybody in one of those groups. You know, some people like to just buy a couple of things and they want to pay retail. Some people want to buy and switch over a whole line or start using our 30-day system. And so that makes sense for them to become preferred clients. And then some people want to earn money and create a side business of what they're doing. And that's why it makes sense for them to create their own business, work from your home. And as far as I'm concerned, I love people and I want them to choose, and I can help you choose which is going to be the best fit for you, because I need all 3 of those to have a balanced business. I can't just have consultants or just discount shoppers or just clients. I really want all 3. And so that's my job, is to help you figure out where you love. And then I think we have some tiny disclaimers.
Yeah. So I just wanted to thank you guys for coming, and also, you know, Crystal is such a rock star leader on our team. And she does win a lot of the trips. She wins a lot of the different incentives that we do. And so I just want to thank you again for being such a lead. Like today, we had a team meeting online that someone else was supposed to do, but that person didn't show up. And I messed up and didn't show up either, because I thought it was a different time zone. We travel a lot. And so she got on and she just picked a topic and led.
Yeah, Trace did it.
You're awesome, Crystal.
I had to add to that, because when I had met Crystal, the person we've known each other in the community for quite some time, we
Yes.
never sat down to know who one another are, what we do, who we are as